It's often said when one is discussing or talking about politics that it really comes down to character. Margaret Thatcher, great Prime Minister of Britain, it was about character, not necessarily all the decisions she's made, but she had character. Great Prime Ministers of Canada, Mulroney, Trudeau, King. It was a matter of character. And here we have our Deputy Prime Minister admonishing everybody who has Disney. Well, if you have children, you probably have the Disney Channel because Disney is everything for young kids. Something around $13 a month, which is considerable for some people, but it's worth it because children love it. Well, when the Deputy Prime Minister was asked recently about how people are supposed to cut costs when everything is going up because of inflation, because of the price of gas and oil that is kept up because of the policies of her government, she said, let's just cut Disney so everybody can save $13 a month. That is where Ottawa is these days. The Prime Minister, maybe he leads that as far as character goes. When the government of Quebec wanted to strip its citizens of the right to wear religious symbols, when they wanted to strip English-speaking people, of the ability to talk to your doctor in English and instead have a civil servant the right to go to that doctor's office without a warrant to see if, in fact, you're speaking English and not French. They actually use that famous Notwithstanding clause to put both through, even though I don't see any great urgency for either of those pieces of legislation. But the Prime Minister didn't say boo about it. He was asked many times, what about the rights of people in Quebec? He didn't give an answer. Well, then the Premier of Ontario wants to get teachers back into the schools after 2.5 years of them being out of school as a result of COVID. Tough bargaining. He brought in legislation, used Notwithstanding, which is to say, if the courts knock this down, it's going to stay there anyway because we are the legislature, we are putting in the laws, not the courts. The Prime Minister actually traveled to Toronto to lecture the Premier of Ontario about the Notwithstanding clause, about these rights. He talked about the right to strike. Well, a lot of people in Quebec thought they had the right to speak English. A lot of people thought they had the right to wear a cross. No, they don't have that right, but there he runs, running in. So again, it goes down to character. I think that in Canada, we have so many politicians running about these issues because they aren't dealing with the issues they should be dealing with. The federal government can't issue a passport. Just barely has planes in the air and landing in airports. There are real hard decisions that this federal government has to deal with. So let's have more politicians of character, more politicians wanting to make a decision to help people instead of having cheap shots or by saying, you can save $13 a month, cancel Disney, have your kids go crazy, because that's what this federal government wants you to do. So in 1 year during the pandemic, CBC paid themselves $33 million in bonuses above their great salaries. We need a discussion in this country. We need analysis. If you agree with that, please help us on the air. Press PayPal and subscribe.